What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Real Housewives of Potomac. Yes, I know I have been MIA for a couple of episodes, but let's be honest, nothing was really happening in that episode where Robin broke ass decided to plan a field day for the kids. Like, literally, Wendy's kids missed out on nothing because Robin had nothing going on for the kids. Nonetheless, all she had was grass and some benches. Didn't even have no food there. It looked like she didn't even provide water. Nonetheless, let's hop on over to the past episode where they got it started at this burn session. I will say this again, Robin, why are you acting up? And then you sat up there and lied talking about some nobody had to restrain me. Don't try to act like I'm some type of thug. Girl, you've been a thug. Chill out. You literally sat there and you stood up and then you kind of walked up on her, and Sharice had to push you back. I love Bravo's messy producer team who said run that footage back so that we can all have a refreshment of our memories. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and jump into this episode. And Ashley has decided that she's going to let Candace know that Chris just has the ultimate wandering eye, y'all. Clearly, Chris does not see it for Candace, and he is trying to get out of this marriage. That is the narrative that they are really painting on that man. Like, first it was Ashley, then it was Giselle. Hop on over to me and talk about he was looking at her. Oh, now Ashley magically has this friend who said that he was trying to get with her. Y'all, come on now. It's funny because all these women are like fair, light skinned women, and I'm just like, are y'all even Chris type? Like, he looked like he loved him some chocolate, and that is what Candace is giving. Are y'all even his type? Because all y'all are some light skins. But nonetheless, Candace, she has realized who Ashley really is, especially once Ashley said, oh, you don't like it when the pendulum swings the other way? Like, girl, y'all just became cool. Why would you even say that? And then once Candace went off on her, called her vindictive, which wasn't a lie, Candace had to spray her. And I was here for it. When she told her, like, girl, your husband literally sits up here and lies to you, goes to some man's house to go do some wangs and things, I was like, oh, she really aired it out, y'all. Kara's face this whole time, I was cracking up. Now, what got me about Ashley in this situation is that her response was, are you veering off the path? Is this deflection? And I'm like, girl, wouldn't somebody say, my man ain't doing that? Oh, because you know that Michael is. I get it, Ashley. Now, with that information dropping, though, about Michael, that was the end of the dinner, y'all. That was the end of the burn session. It was over, okay? Candace had shut it down, like she always does. Um, yeah, the ladies, they are about to go back home. What got me was when they got to the Sprinter van, and Robin is like, my Uber driver is like 30 minutes out. Like, girl, stop playing with us. You know for sure that you did not order an Uber that was probably gonna have to drive you back to your house over an hour. Because first of all, you penny pinching. Secondly, you was waiting to see if somebody was gonna run after you and check on you. Stop playing, Robin. So after this, we do see a clip of Ashley having a conversation with Wendy. Wendy's, trying to check on her because they rode together. And Ashley is like, the reason why she decided to say all this in front of Giselle was because Candace had said that Giselle is basically trying to just say things in front of the group. I said, Ashley, you're full of it. Because here's the thing, Giselle actually pulled Candace to the side and she told her this. So also, I don't believe that Candace said that because we would have saw that beautiful beef footage and we didn't see that. They didn't roll no clips of Candace saying that. So when did she say that to you, Ashley? I feel like, yes, she may have said that, Giselle is trifling. Giselle is just trying to get some mess started because she's miserable. But I don't think she said, oh, Giselle's just trying to stir something up in front of the group. That was you being messy on your own. You decided to bring that up in front of the group. Cut it out. So then we hop on over to Giselle and Candace. They're about to have a conversation. So Candace is just trying to get clarification. on what exactly went down, because Chris has said one thing and Giselle has said another. And he has told Candace that, I even suggested that we leave the door open. She's the one who suggested that we talk in her room, all this stuff. So then Giselle's like, oh, well, I don't recall him suggesting that. She just didn't want to be in a room with the married man. Now, Candace is like, okay, but you're saying that as if there was malintent. And that's very true. Here's the thing, I get it. It does look funny if Giselle and Chris are coming out of a room together, for sure. But if you already know how Chris treats y'all like sisters, and if he's coming to you for advice, or how to handle a situation with Candace, or a question about marriage, whatever he had a question about, like, I'm just confused as to how you're really painting this narrative as if he really did something bad. Like, you would have thought he came up in there, touched her, rubbed her, did something to her when nothing happened. Like, girl, just leave this story alone. We then hop over to the Sprinter van, and Karen is updating Robin on what went down while she was sitting in the Sprinter being upset. Of course, she has to tell her that Ashley says that one of her friends said that Chris was coming on to her. It says that, of course, Ashley was not specific as to what friend it was. So then we hop back over to Ashley and Wendy. And, of course, Ashley is like, I'm not vindictive. I'm not vindictive. That narrative has to stop. Girl, you've been vindictive since season one. Ain't nothing changed about you. Now, here's the thing. Ashley swears that she got this information like right then and there, the day before, she hadn't talked to her friend about this. Even though we get a flashback from a month ago, okay, a whole month ago, where her friend came over and was like, oh, who's coming all to this dance class that you're about to have? Is Candace going to be there? Why did you specifically ask if Candace was going to be there? Unless y'all already had this conversation a month ago about how Chris supposedly came on to you, or Ashley just sitting up here lying. Now, it could be one or two things, but what's happening? Please let me know. Because why was this girl questioning if Candace was going to be anywhere? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that Ashley and Candace didn't have the greatest rapport, but nah, that was just too strange for her to specifically ask about Candace. And then later on, we find out a whole month later, you supposedly talked to Ashley a day before she was going to be somewhere where Candace would be, for you to confide in her and be like, oh, well, Chris, he came on to me when we were at the spring fling. Bye. I am so over this situation. All right, so y'all, we hop back over to Giselle and Candace. I know I feel like I am jumping all around, but they literally kept jumping back and forth with all these conversations. So, um, Candace, she's like, you waited until you were on the show, basically, because she used the word platform, but of course she's saying that you waited till we got back to filming this show to try to bring this out to hurt my husband, and he's been nothing but kind to you. And that's all facts right there. Chris ain't never done nothing to Giselle. So for her to try to hurt him like this, just to, make Candace feel some type of way, that's tacky. That's real tacky. Like, he's basically getting the Michael treatment. Like, they're acting like he's some type of predator at this point when he hasn't done anything. But nonetheless, Candace is like, it's because of women like you why women don't speak out. Because you're creating false narratives to make it seem like something went down, but really that's not what went down. So I guess Giselle was coming to the understanding that Candace was seeing her side of things, but no, Candace is rocking with her husband. Bye, Giselle. And that pretty much wrapped up the scene. Now let's move on to Ashley and this divorce. Y'all, I'm tired. I am so tired of hearing Ashley whine about this divorce and how she's trusting Michael to be fair, and everyone's saying how she shouldn't buy the house. Like, I do not care. But nonetheless, she meets up with this attorney who basically tells her that it's not a smart decision to try to buy a house with this man unless there's something in writing that says that he's not going to try to, take the house from you. He would basically have to put it in writing that this is a gift for her and the boys. And for sure, she needs to make sure that she's protected because she talking about some, oh, Michael's gonna write up a proposal. And like that lady said, yeah, the person who's the breadwinner, they're gonna make sure that you get something that sounds great, but it really could be that they're holding on to all types of funds. So girl, it was definitely time for you to get an attorney, and let's go ahead and move on. Now here we go with Mia. She's meeting up with Jacqueline and Sharice out of all people. They are really shoving Sharice down our throats. Like, we are how many episodes in? And I feel like Sharice has been on every last one of them. What is happening? Like, Andy, did y'all forget to give her um a call for the photo shoot because she's a member of the cast? Because they are really acting like we want to see Sharice. So, nonetheless, you know, they meet up. They were, I believe, at like a nail spa or something. Yeah, they were getting their nails done. And Sharice ends up asking, how's your health? Because everyone's concerned about Mia's health. She doesn't even say that, oh, it's not cancer. She just says that she still has the lumps and that they're going to remove them later. And I'm like, could you please start off by telling people that you don't have cancer? Because you made a whole stir about how you were at John Hopkins and all this stuff. Like, lead with you don't have cancer. Um, we also learned that Jacqueline and Mia go way back to the point of Jacqueline's mother had actually fostered Mia. Because we already know Mia's parents, they were battling drug addiction. Now, this is all information, of course, that Sharice doesn't know because I'm pretty sure this is the first time Sharice and Mia are getting to know each other. Like, ever. It doesn't seem like they've hung out before, at least not to me. So Mia actually makes an announcement, y'all, that the girls are going to Miami. And I'm just like, I get Jacqueline being there, but Sharice? Really? Again, y'all are shoving her down our throats. And I don't think we wanted that. We didn't. I think we're starting to regurgitate. So we see the reactions of a few of the other ladies, that they're going to Miami. And Candace says she's going to come down a little bit later because she's going to be recording new music. But Trina's from Miami, so, maybe she can lock in that deal to get Trina on the remix to one of her songs, which I was like, okay, that's dope. And then you have Karen, who's like, it's actually on my birthday that this trip is planned. And Mia, of course, is like, I got you, I got you. And Karen is like, listen, don't make me regret this. I did chuckle at that because I would hate to have to go on a trip, a cash trip on my birthday, and it's whack. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and move on. So we see Wendy, she's at home with her beautiful daughter Cameron, and her husband Eddie ends up coming in so that they can talk. And, he basically is just checking in on her. And of course, she expresses how she's journaling and how, her mom was admitted to the hospital. And she's just happy that her mom's home, which I'm like, that's great because nobody wants their mom to be in the hospital. Nobody. And they actually talk about her possible endeavors in the restaurant business because we already know she wanted to open up a lounge. And her husband's like, listen, that financially is going to be a problem. Okay? Like, that's probably going to be a setback for Wendy to, just come out of pocket. What was it, $300,000? Like, yeah, of course, she's making money on the show. Of course, she's making money with her gigs and all this stuff. But as we already know, Eddie wanted no parts of it. So that would be $300,000 coming out of her pocket solely. And I don't think that Wendy is up there just yet financially to be able to just, throw out $300,000. Now, I can see maybe one of the other ladies because they've been on the show for a while, but Wendy's still new. You know what I mean? Let her checks, stack up a little bit. So I get that. So then they talk about the burn session, of course. And Wendy tells Eddie that, she went first. Of course, the girls, they talked about her, and he asked her if she was accountable. She said yes. We saw them run a little footage back or whatever, but it still went bad. Like nothing good came out of that burn session. She brings up the fact that they're going to Miami, and one thing that I respected about Wendy was that she did not pillow talk with her husband in front of the cameras. Because I'm pretty sure she told Eddie, well, Ashley, she told Candace that her husband was doing blah, blah, blah. And then Candace, she told Ashley that her husband was doing blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yeah, keep Eddie out of the mess because I don't want nobody saying nothing to Eddie. Eddie ain't done nothing to nobody. Because had this been Robin, you already know she would have been like, and Juan, can you believe that Candace said that Michael was doing this, that, another? You know she would have ran till that. And speaking of Robin, we get a scene with her and Giselle. They're at this store or whatever. And of course, they're talking about some tweets that Chris actually put out because he got pissed off by the fact that Ashley and Giselle are starting that narrative. I have never seen those tweets because I don't follow Chris. Hell, I don't follow any of the girls. So then Ashley shows up or whatever, and she's like, oh, because, Michael, he's in the Bahamas. Why do we need to know that information? Like, why are you telling Giselle and Robin that Michael is in the Bahamas? That serves them none. So they have this conversation about finances or whatever. And here's the thing, Ashley is trying to play in our faces. I am sick and tired of her and this divorce. Because one minute she says, oh, because we don't even have an LLC yet. Michael just told me that. We don't have it yet. But you told us that you put in an offer for a house. You've been looking for a house. You told us every time you put in an offer, they take, someone else's offer. So whose offer is being put in, girl? Was it just Michael's money? Oh, I forgot. You let that white woman who handles all of Michael's endeavors handle this situation. Y'all, this is stupid. Either Michael was going to put that house under his name and he was going to pay for it, and then he was always going to have power over her, or Ashley is just making shit up as she go along, and I'm tired. So we briefly talk about, the information that Candace said about Michael. And the only response that Ashley has is, oh, I don't believe it, so whatever. Like, girl, you know it's probably true. Shut up. And of course, you're talking to Giselle and Robin, and they definitely think that is true because nobody believes that Michael didn't pay for an escort. Come on now. So, next thing you know, we're talking about how Robin already knew this information because Candace told her this in private, but she assumed that Candace was never going to bring it out. Girl, bye. You already know that when somebody says something reckless, that at some point, if you are holding on to tea, you gonna drop it. Come on now. Now, here we go with Robin being fake as hell, y'all. Because now she is officially on Giselle's side when it comes to the conversation of Chris versus Giselle and what happened in that room or whatever. Like, you literally sat in Candace and Chris's face and was like, because I told Giselle that if she felt uncomfortable, she should have said something, and how, you're not that type of person. All this stuff that you was sitting in their face saying, but come to find out you was a op the whole time, which we already knew that as the audience, but you over here riding for Giselle. Even though you said that Giselle was wrong. Bye, Robin. So we see that the ladies are arriving to the airport and they fly out to Miami. So we do see that they split up into two cars, and in one car you have Mia, Karen, Giselle, and Jacqueline, where they have this conversation, and we learn that Jacqueline was never married to her child's father, and we also learn that Giselle wants to date somebody young. Girl, bye. So then we hop on over to the other car, and that has the rest of the ladies besides Candace because Candace is coming later, and they're just trying to figure out what the room situation is going to be because it's like, are we going to have to share rooms? What's happening? But you already know that Sharice knows what's going on, but Sharice ain't saying a word because she's going to get her own room. And I'm like, when you really think about it, like, why is Sharice getting her own room? If anything, she should be bunking up with somebody because she's new to you. Mia, you don't even know her. So the ladies pull up to the house, and the house is nice, even though across the street it could be an old folks' home, a regular old neighborhood, or whatever. They are not in South Beach. They are in a residential neighborhood of Miami. Now it's on the water because they have a great view, but it's still not like the real Miami that the ladies thought that they were going to be getting. They got played. But I will say Mia had it set up really nice where she had a chef there. She had somebody at the door with drinks. It was cute. So when it comes to the ladies getting their rooms, Mia has already assigned the rooms and she has assigned them by movies or shows that have strippers in them. I said only Mia would do that. So we find out that Giselle and Robin, of course, are sharing a room. And then I believe that Mia and Jacqueline were going to share a room. Karen, she had a room that was right on the first floor. It looked pretty small, but it looked efficient for, Karen. Sharice, she got her own room and she's like, I snore and I sleep naked, so I definitely need my own room. I say, yeah, you do. Nobody wants any parts of either of those things. Y'all know I'm not feeling Sharice. So here's the thing, there's only so many rooms. Where is Candace sleeping when she gets there? So Ashley steals the card. She's with Giselle, of course, trying to see what room she gave Candace. And Mia gave Candace Housewives, which is the same room as Wendy, which has only one bed. And I'm just like, oh, you are petty. Come on now, Mia. I guess gotta make TV, right? So the lady thinks that it's so funny. And of course, I'm referring to Robin and Giselle. Now, Ashley has to try to put this card back, but Wendy is already downstairs. And she's like, where's Mia's card? I'm not Mia's card. Where's Candace's card? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I think Mia has it. So she's finally able to drop the card back where it was or whatever. So Wendy ends up asking Mia, like, where is Candace gonna sleep? Because it ain't enough rooms. And Mia's like, basically, don't worry about it. She'll be sleeping underneath this roof. Sharice comes up with a plan that she wants to go to a hotel because she wants a bathroom, which is absolutely understandable because these are like grown people. Everybody wants a bathroom to themselves when you're an adult. At least that's how I feel. And of course, Robin feels some type of way because her and Giselle are always sharing a room. Now she brings up in her confessional, like, why is it that Karen doesn't ever have to share a room or whatever? Why is it always me and Giselle? And it's like, first of all, it's Karen's birthday weekend. Why would she be sharing a room? And then she's like, oh, is it because she's the oldest? If we want to say that, sure, let's use that. Why can't Karen have her own room? Like, stop being a hater, Robin. So we see a couple of other random scenes, don't really care to talk about much, but I will say that Sharice is still trying to find a place to stay because she does not want to stay in his house. Now we have Mia getting a call from Peter. Peter Thomas. How the fuck does Mia know Peter? I'm trying to make it make sense. Like, is Peter going to be a part of the cast? Is he about to get the Sharice treatment? Somebody please let me know. So she basically lets him know that she wants to come by the bar, bring the ladies or whatever, and he's in town. And he's like, oh, no, she's mentioning all the girls who are there. And when she says Wendy's name, he's like, oh, tell Wendy when I see her, we got beef or whatever. And that's because the whole restaurant thing basically fell through. And that is where we kind of leave off because we have scenes for the next episode where Mia tries to throw a drink on Wendy, and we see that it is a to be continued. So let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye, y'all.